prima joh.
Ja. Nee.
Zet het in de...
Ga eens weg.
Dat lijkt je best wel net.
Ja, nee, hij houdt het. Ja.
Hey, kijk, we zijn live. Jongens, we zijn live.
Is dit niet ook die link die ook op de website staat?
Dat is nu een YouTube link, het is iets heel iets anders. Het staat in WhatsApp.
Ja, maar als het goed is stond de YouTube link ook op de website.
Geen idee. Maar dat, Milena gaat er nu achteraan.
Zijn Kellen en
Oké.
Carlos hier?
Nee. Er is ongeveer 30 seconden vertraging in. We kunnen het even testen.
Kijk, zie mezelf. Kijk. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 14,
Boe!
13, 15, 16.
Dat is mijn tijd.
Wow, hij is echt traag.
Hoeveel seconden?
Ja, kijk, dan kun je tellen. 1.
Oké, we hebben 18 seconden vertraging.
Ja, dat is wel echt heel veel.
Ja, boeien.
Dat is prima. Die mensen die merken dat niks.
Maar wat we nu nog moeten testen is... Oké, wacht. Is dat ding op mij gemikt? Is de audio en video een beetje tegelijkertijd? Oftewel, als ik klap... Ga ik nu even opletten? Oké, wacht. Is dat ding op mij gemikt? Is de audio en video een beetje tegelijkertijd? Yes, oké, het is gesynct. Ja, dan is het helemaal prima. Dit is winst. We kunnen nu weer muziek zetten.
Staat deze goed?
Nee, mik hem naar de andere kant van de zaal door. Dan kan je daar een beetje mensen zien. Je hoeft mij niet de hele tijd te zien kutten. Kijk, het idee is, dan doen we zo en dan niet klaar voor je niks. Ja, die heb ik al een hele week.
Wij die moet pakken. Die achter daar, dat ding.
Nou, echt net uit te gooien.
Thijs.
Ja, is goed.
Welke mic? Hier, dit is de goede mic. Weg, je hebt helemaal niks gefixt hoor. Dat hebben we allemaal zelf gedaan. Nee.
Ja, we gaan sowieso praten. Natuurlijk sponsors. Misschien staat er wel iemand in de zaal die dit kan kofferen. En anders dan heb ik een backup geregeld. Ja, hallo daar. Oh, je draait hem ook even weg. Oh, dat doet hij automatisch. Ja, oh, nu blijft hij doorgaan. Oh nee, maar het is wel echt netjes dat hij uitgaat. Ja. Een zwaar ding, joh. Het is wel een goede herinnering dat je niet te lang gaat doorouwehoeren. Dat hou je gewoon niet vol. Hey, top. Ik geloof het wel.
Mooi. Het klinkt niet heel lekker. Zeg maar, hij heeft een beetje feedback.
Klinkt hij niet helemaal goed of voor mij wel?
Nou, kom maar ergens vast. De achterkant kan je.
Oh. Even kijken of het zo doet. Hij piept een beetje. En als ik hier sta, hoe klinkt dat dan? Hallo Robert, hoe is het daar op de bank? Even kijken of je mij hoort. Nou ja, een beetje. Oh jee, waar is de bak met stiften? Maar staat hij niet al daar? Nee, dat zijn even kijken of het zo doet. Ja, die stonden de hele tijd op die achterste tafel, dus ik hoop dat die daar nog steeds staan. Ja, zeg het maar, chef. Ik vind het prima. Maar ik hoor het niet goed natuurlijk.
Met de muziek erbij.
Ja? Hey Milena, how sound check? How does this sound? This is oh, okay. So that's what you're referring to. That is robotic.
Like the high or low sounds, it doesn't really work. So it's fine, but these two mics are better.
Okay.
But this one is wireless, so I'm not sure what you.
But we have also one wireless mic, right? Or not?
No.
Okay, so if we want to run through the audience, we need this.
Yes.
Yeah.
And well, if you do this close to your mouth, then this works better. But if you keep it here, it picks up more noise from the speakers and then it sounds worse. So if you just use this over here and use this as your mic, I think this works best. All right.
En jullie hadden met Kalin dit geregeld?
Ja, wij sturen dit naar Keilin online en Keilin heeft het gelivestreamd.
Hallo, ja. Deze is goed.
Ja, die wordt best goed, maar.
Ja, ja.
Maar die moet je gewoon bijhouden.
Oh, het is wel afgevallen.
instrumentje? How sound check? How does this sound? This is
Maar nu wel. Oké.
Maar dat is best wel belangrijk, want deze...
Ja, precies. Nou, dan moeten we dat gewoon onthouden. En nu nog... Oké.
Ik heb
Oké, nice.
Eh,
En jij hebt mensen op hun gemak laten. Ah,
dat Silke mij vertelt, dat dat wel bij mij past.
Hebben jullie een superpower voor mij? Ik heb echt geen superpower volgens mij. Echt heel zielig.
All right.
Hallo. Test. Hoor je mij? Hallo. Ja, dit is beter. En dan als je hem op deze modus zet, dan hoor je het al helemaal goed. Test, test, test. Hoor jij iets? Hallo, hallo. Hoor je iets door je koptelefoon? Hallo, 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 hallo. Hallo, ja. Ik hoor niks aan mijn koptelefoon. Jij wel? Nee. Hallo, 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 hallo. Hallo, 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 hallo. Hallo, 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 hallo. Hallo, 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 hallo. Nee, maar dat hoor je door die speakers. Oh, is goed volgen. Nee. Hallo, hallo. Hallo. Alleen links. Hallo, 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 hallo. Hoor je?
Ik ga gewoon even niet af waar zoveel minuten lang zijn. Dus ik denk gewoon aan, ik laat hem nu 10 minuten staan. Ja, ik zal jullie.
Hallo, 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 hallo. Ik heb links.
Nou, sure, dan allebei links. Maakt het niet heel veel uit. Wel een beetje gek. En nu moet even het volume gaan inschatten, want nu horen we hem zo hard. Terwijl de rest nu helemaal niks hoort.
Oké, Charlotte, kun jij...
Later moeten we even testen. Dat is
test, test, test. Test, test, test. Hallo, 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 hallo. Hoor je mij? Ja? Top. Hetzelfde niveau? Hallo. Ik praat nu gewoon op normaal volume. Nu? Ja, nu zit ik op hetzelfde volume ook te testen. Praat, praat, test. Ja, komt het een beetje overheen?
Na mijn plaats. Oké, ik ben nog niet te horen. Ik ben nog niet te horen. Doe maar iets harder. Test, test, test. 1, 2, 3. Daar gaan we. We gaan bijna beginnen. Ja, we gaan beginnen. Als we er klaar voor zijn, kunnen we beginnen. Are we almost ready to start? Yes? Is it good, Chief Audio? Can you all hear me very well in the back? Yes? And otherwise you can come a bit closer, of course. So, welcome everybody today at the first insPEEration event. Oh yeah! And you were there, yes. And today is all about connect to create. But maybe even more important, it's about create to connect. Because you do need to create something before you can connect. And if somebody showed that here, it's our students of the minor. Maybe all the students can come forward who helped creating today in order that we can connect together. So big applause for our students. Thank you very much. Yeah, you can. Yes, please come here on stage. Yes. And there are even more. There are people hidden even. So this is only half of them. And now they're here. Okay, one more big applause. Create to connect. Yeah, I told you they were hidden. There are even more. There are even more. So thanks, thanks a lot. And you will probably enjoy today as well. And you will mingle in today as well. During our event later on, find your muse, because this may be your muse and your muses may be right there, but you will find out later. All right, so today is about connect to create. My name, or actually my nickname, is the Reverberator. You can call me Katrina Heine. You can also call me the Reverberator. And actually it's much more a mantra than it is a nickname, because a Reverberator aspires to be curious, be open, ask questions, listen carefully. And a Reverberator also aspires to see connections, recognize patterns, finding gaps maybe. So that's what I'm inspiring. I'm not there yet, but maybe you can help me with that. And if you think, Reverberator, yeah, it stems from reverging. And if you don't know what reverging is, well, there you have your conversation starter with these students. They know exactly what reverging is. All right, so thank you very much. Once more, you can take your or you can stay, but you can also go back to where you feel comfortable. Yeah, on the couch. Why not? And today is we have a program for you today. So we have some speakers to inspire you, hopefully, because it's about inspiration, but it's much more about connecting and connecting physically here today. So when you entered today, you all got this badge, right? But you also got a card on which you will write some of your superpowers that you offer or what you're looking for. Well, we'll explain later what we will do exactly with that, but it will help you to find your muse. And today is much less about names and functions. It's really about your superpowers and using them and helping each other to use your superpowers. All right, but before I continue with telling all kinds of stuff. Oh, yes, please. Can you take over for a moment, please?
For a short moment. Yeah, Katrina asked me to have a welcoming word to our international network, because it's all about reconnecting and also reconnecting the international network. So a warm welcome to our friends in Germany from the Deutsche Gesellschaft für Kreativität. Warm welcome for Crea France, our French counterpart. A warm welcome to Apkiko. I hope I pronounce it well. That's the Portuguese connection. A warm welcome to the Dakik, the Danish fellows. Good to have you somewhere in the internet. A warm welcome to the to the guys in Poland, the University of Łódź. Wonderful to see you again. And of course, the old fellows, the real old fellows. You think I'm old, but I'm not, comparing to the real old fellows. For instance, in the room is one of the originator of the European Association of Creativity and Innovation, somewhere dating back in, I think, 1986. Yeah, I see somewhere in the back there too. He was there too, 1986 in the first conference, unbelievable. But we have even older guests on the line. For instance, Tudor Ricketts, welcome from England. Wonderful, thank you very much. Yeah, why not? And last but certainly not least, our guest of honor, Bee Pans. She's the widow of Sid Pans, one of the originator of our profession. And I'm so happy that she can be with us via the internet. A big applause for this woman. I probably have forgotten something, but who cares? We're talking about creativity and flaws can be there. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'll give you back to the Master of Ceremony, Katrina Heine.
All right, let's get to action. Let's get to our first speaker already. And I told you already, it's not so much about names and functions today. So I don't need to say that we have here the professor of design and culture and society and but what we do know is, or what we would like to find out actually, is about her superpowers. And I know one of her superpowers is that she knows everything about the history of creativity and about how creativity was invented and maybe reinvented in current context. So I will give the floor to, well, what's your nickname actually?
B.
Oh, B. Let's give the floor to B and let's hear all about creativity.
Thank you. Just check. Okay, am I still audible in the back? Do I see? Yeah? Okay. Thank you. Hi, everybody. It's really thrilling to be here. Also a little scary because I'm actually preaching to the choir. So I'm curious how this works. But I've been asked to give you a 10-minute short and sweet and deep dive into the history of the word and the practices that bring us all together here. Creativity. And I will run this to you with 10 wist je datjes. That's a Dutch word for fun facts. If these fragments interest, surprise, or befuddle you, I highly recommend that you, after all the drinks, move over to this building, and it's really behind basically this screen. It's a library, the TU Delft Library, where we have a great exhibition that I made with Sam Franklin, and I think I saw Geertje Achterberg and the heritage team together, called Inventing Creativity, where we have more than 10 minutes to delve into the history of creativity. And I should say, even then, there's still so much that's not on the panel, so we can have a second iteration, sometime soon, especially after I've heard from you all, because I know there's a lot of historical knowledge right here in this room. And I really invite you to connect with me because I'm interested in hearing your stories. Okay, so here we go. Here's another image. I think everybody knows what that book is about. At least I'm not sure if everybody recognizes this iteration of the cover, but it's the original one, I think. But here we go. Did you know that? Did you know that a century ago, a brainstorm was a disease in which too many ideas whiz by and are a sign of a highly unstable mind? The trajectory of this word actually tells a story of how an uncontrolled flow of ideas moved from being an object of worry and bodily malady to a positive object where you have an uncontrolled flow of ideas seen as a productive tool. Fun fact 2, this is the first book that was written about brainstorming, but did you know that brainstorming means using the brain to storm a problem? The oft forgotten military idiom was in full view in its earliest definition, as it was described as a process that takes place in commando fashion, with each stormer audaciously attacking the same objective. I wonder if this is exactly what you came for here, or if this has shifted somewhat. So this booklet is from 1942, and Alex Osborne actually used the term thinking up, but brainstorming was how it came to be known. But I think that if he had had his way, this afternoon would be called Connect to Think Up. Sounds kind of different. Okay, did you know that the Cold War was a fertile ground for the invention of creativity? It was, for instance, used to think through yet to be experienced scenarios, such as atomic warfare and survival training. As E.P. Torrance tells us in a retrospective account of his Air Force employment, as a director of survival research in the 1950s, we were really trying to teach the men to think creatively about the surviving in an emergency and extreme conditions. I've long felt that extreme conditions for which they have no learned solutions require creative behavior. Fun fact 4. Did you know that, and I think this is actually something that probably all of you know, thanks to the Sputnik shock, creativity emerged firmly on the geopolitical radar of the United States. Russian inventiveness, after all, had posited the following conundrum, and this is by Guilford. Why did this imaginative achievement of a Sputnik occur in a political climate that should have dulled individual thought and initiative, and not in a democratic climate where the individual and not the state is at the center of human interest? The Sputnik surge in funding initiated what one stakeholder called the Sputnik-inspired era of creativity, and secured creativity as a central object of interest in the social sciences. To put it bluntly, the concern that underpinned this wave of funding was that conformist practices in knowledge production wouldn't put a man on the moon. Now, did you know that the Sputnik shock also reinvigorated the testing of creativity? Creativity was tested through mosaic tests, drawing completion tests, Rorschach's test, and of course, the Torrance test of creative thinking. The goal was to detect creative persons who until that point had been overlooked because IQ tests punished divergent thinking and could be used on soldiers, industrial personnel, and school children alike. And I always have to look up which one of these two mosaics sort of signifies creativity, but I'm sure that you in the room can all sort of identify the creative person here. Okay, number 6. I think you know that creative thinking techniques were often developed and applied in highly rationalized workplaces, such as US Steel, Reynolds Metals, GE Motors, and Boeing Airplane. While emerging squarely at the heart of military and industrial settings, the process itself was usually pitted against predominant utilitarian rationalities, championed by management, the military, and bureaucracies. I propose that in order to overcome the boundaries imposed by modern rationalities, creative thinking techniques sought to produce a form of counter-knowledge, an understanding that comes about by not following the rules of thought. Now, did you know that automation also stimulated the embrace and acceptance of creativity? Take this premonition by Guilford, which describes the sense of uncertainty and anxiety evoked by new thinking machines. That was the word for computers in the 1950s. He says, "We hear much these days about the remarkable new thinking machines. We're told that these machines can be made to take over much of man's thinking, and that the routine thinking of many industries will eventually be done without the employment of human brains. We're told that this will entail an industrial revolution that will pale into insignificance the first industrial revolution." Of course, we're still sort of scared of this automation monster. The first one makes man's muscles relatively useless. The second one is expected to make man's brain also relatively useless. As this nervous premonition indicates, both the laboring body and the laboring mind were threatened to be phased out by the rise of automation. Now, Guilford's great escape from mankind's anticipated mental obsolescence was that, and here he says it, eventually about the only economic value of brains left would be in the creative thinking of which they are capable. So we're pretty useless except for thinking outside the box. Thinking outside the box was what computers and assembly lines couldn't do. Creative ideation came to be invoked as a source of value, work, and hope for a prosperous future because it was less prone to emulation, standardization, and thus automation. Fun fact 8. Did you know that brainstorming was described in 1955 by the Wall Street Journal as the mating of the age of Freud with the century of the salesman? Now, that could also have been the title for today. The premium put on Freudian terms, such as free thinking, free association, extracting layers of subconscious thought, intimates that what was once deemed irrational and unreliable, unconscious thought, was being recast here in the 1950s as epistemologically valuable and as a new source of knowledge and ideas. And this is actually a pretty big shift. Did you know that in 1958, brainstorm was recorded as a new word? Giving a glimpse of the zeitgeist, brainstorm was listed with Atomic Garden, Automate, Product Mix, Proxy War, and Sputnik. And here's the last one. Did you know that what puzzles me is that the trajectory of creativity suggests, most notably, that an appreciation for creative thinking may spring forth from military and industrial settings. Rather than signaling a succession of industrial societies, as is often suggested in invocations of, for instance, a knowledge economy, I read the heightened interest in creativity as an effect of industrial modes of production. To be sure, creative thinking resists the very logics of the military and of manufacturing industries, and it foreshadows the rise of inspirational discourse and the simultaneous falling out of fact of disciplining productivity terms. But what I want to underscore in these histories and with these fragments is that it was within the military and within the manufacturing industries that an appreciation for creative practices has come into its own. Thank you.
So, did you know those things? And did you make a mental note of it so you can have a great conversation at the bar later on? Well, maybe not here because the others already heard about these fun facts, but some of them may do very well at the bar at another space, maybe. So, coming up next, we have our next speaker already coming up. So what you heard up till now was looking back, right? Looking back on creativity, where it originated, some fun facts about the history. But we are here, right? We are here and now. So what do we do now? And our next speaker will focus much more on the education we do right here at the IDE faculty. Because Brechtje just said, okay, creativity also flourishes maybe in highly structured environments. That's maybe also why we have some people from, for example, civil engineering here today as well. So does it actually thrive here on this faculty? And do we consider ourselves here at the design faculty, is it highly structured, or is it something else? Well, I don't know if we get an answer to that. At least we will have a conversation here with Milena Gonzalez. Names don't matter too much, functions don't matter too much. So your nickname, Milena, very good. About education and research.
Thank you. So bear with me. I will tend to forget this. So if you cannot listen to me over there, then just remind me, because it will happen like this. So is it okay? Okay. So as Katrina already introduced, I'm Milen. I do have here an introduction. I'm an assistant professor here at the Faculty of Industrial Design and Engineering, and I have a PhD on design creativity. This doesn't matter. What matters is that I am passionate about creativity, research creativity, and also in education. And this is also what I'm going to discuss today. I'm going to tell you about two approaches of that in which we teach creativity here, not only at design, but also for an interdisciplinary crowd. Besides creativity, I'm also passionate about visual thinking in the design process. And I kind of unify those two directions, because I feel that you can only be as creative as you are able to communicate your ideas. And in this event that we are going to share all our ideas, it's important that we are able to visualize our thoughts. So that's my superpower. I can imagine anything and put it outside. So today I start with a question. Can we teach creativity? Do you raise your arm if you agree? That's quite a lot of hands on the air. So I do agree. I think we can teach creativity. And it's true that creativity is an innate skill. Everybody is born with those capabilities, with the potential to be creative. It's the kind of creative or the kind of cognitive processes that everybody has, but it can also be nurtured. And our aim here in teaching creativity in this faculty is to empower interdisciplinary students with creative skills, methods, and attitudes. And that's because creative thinking is one of the skills that is crucial for the 21st century. And it's been said since Guilford's time, and since then until now, it's still a very important skill that not only creative researchers, but also reports on the future of the employer of the workspace also says it. So we are empowering creative thinking in our students. So today I'm going to tell you about two approaches to teach creativity. And one of them, you're seeing the fruits just now, because we have all our students of the minor Connected Creativity here. Shout for them, woohoo! And the minor Connected Creativity is a 5-month program to bachelor students coming from all kinds of disciplines. So it becomes that we have a very interdisciplinary crowd. We also have another approach to teach creativity, and more specifically to teach and bridge it with practice of creativity and research, which is the Connected Creativity Lab. So let's start with the minor, or maybe not that yet. If you've noticed, the minor and the lab have both the name Connected Creativity. So why do we say connected creativity? So we are trying to connect a bunch of things together, and we thought that connected creativity means that we are able to make bridges between all of these directions. So we are connecting different disciplines and different backgrounds, which involve culture that comes from different perspectives, from different nationalities, but also different viewpoints, like more structured thinking processes to more flexible thinking processes. We are connecting theory and research and practice, and it's really nice that we are here with such a varied crowd that comes from practice, from research, from education. We are connecting organizations, individuals, contexts, society, and that is specifically important because creativity doesn't happen only on the mind of a person. It needs to be communicated to exist, and needs to be shared. We try to connect groups, individuals, because creativity can happen with a single person, but it's also most of the times also happening in groups. And we are connecting technology, innovation, and creativity. So the application of creativity in practice. So the minor looks a little bit like this. Actually, you see a lot of the persons that are going to be on stage are members of the minor of connected creativity. We have Willemijn Brouwer over there. She's going to talk next. Myself, I'm the coordinator of the minor. We have Brechtje that you just listened to with the perspective of context. We have Han van der Meer, who you listened just before, and Katrina, your master of ceremony. And the minor tries to bridge all of these directions, knowledge, attitude, and skills. So we try to bridge the perspective of creativity in many different points of view. So not only the methods that you can use to become creative, but also practice the skills and the attitudes that will be helpful for you to empower creative thinking in all kinds of problems. And we have specific approaches to teach creativity that passes through philosophy and didactics in the minor. For instance, we encourage our students to bridge towards a brave space. And what does a brave space mean? Well, you're seeing it. Our students have been putting themselves outside and really putting their skills in practice and risking something that it's a little bit outside of their comfort zone. So they're expanding their comfort zone. We have the philosophy of learn by doing and by reflecting on doing. So putting focus on the process and reflecting about the process, experimenting, taking risks and learning from that. And we have a teaching approach with an interdisciplinary focus. And you can see here, actually, we have a lot of different disciplines being joined. So computer science, design, of course, because we are design faculty, architecture, nanobiology, civil engineering, you name it, we have it. And then we also have the other approach in which we teach creativity. So one is the minor and the other is the Connected Creativity Lab, which is an upcoming Delft Design Lab. And in this Connected Creativity Lab, we are trying to connect three aspects: the creativity in practice, creativity research, and creativity education. So what is DDL, Delft Design Lab? So this is a platform in which many researchers and practitioners are actually already involved in doing quite great work. Among these labs of the Delft Design Lab, there is going to be one about creativity, the Connected Creativity Lab. And the DDL is a platform to advance design, science, and innovation. And it involves not only researchers or educators and students, but also invites practitioners to be involved. And who are these practitioners? It can be organizations, private and public ones, government, startups. And this is where we would like your help as well. So our goals with the Connected Creativity Lab is to connect creativity, theory, education, and practice, and to contribute for a society of confident, future-ready creators, because we are practicing and we are empowering students to become more creatively confident. And this is also one of the focus for our education. We want to empower these students. And we want to expand on investigation of developing strategies to support creativity, not only in education, but organizations and in society. So there are some benefits in joining as partners, and we are hoping to find some partners today for the Connected Creativity Lab. So there is a very low threshold in participation. You can start with the graduation. You can start by joining, by asking a question and having a graduation student participating in your study. We can have an opportunity to explore a topic of your interest and build a strong consortia together so that unifies creativity, theory, practice, and education. And we can make an actual societal and scientific impact with this approach. So there is one poster for the Connected Creativity Lab. At the moment is behind the Muses board, but I would invite you, once it's cleared out, I would invite you to come in and add your name if you're interested in becoming a partner. Maybe you have a question that you would like to explore. And maybe we can talk about collaborators, so type of collaboration that you'd like to do, and which type of problems you'd like to explore with us. So with this, I would thank you for your attention, and I'll pass on the microphone to someone else. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Yeah, so I guess this is also on your request card, right? Or on the board. So she is looking maybe for some collaborators. You may be looking for some researchers. Well, there she is. So you already know who to go to. Yeah, whatever. So far, what you've heard. We heard a professor. We heard an assistant professor. So. Theory and science based, I would say, so far. But the event you are participating in here today, you could consider it the Dutch chapter of the European Association for Creativity and Innovation. And what is that association about? Well, it's actually bridging the gap between universities, between theories, science, and practice. So finding the collaboration there, and that's exactly what we aim for and hope for today to achieve, to bridge this gap. Yeah, exactly. And I thought I'd do it like so they can listen better because they know the content. Yeah. So you can only focus on the form now from now on. No, so who do we have here today? We actually managed to get in the house the president of the European Association for Creativity and Innovation, Willemijn Brouwer, or nickname Willis Wijs. So please, President, guide us, show us, what should we do?
Yes, I have a very awesome thing here.
Awesome.
Good afternoon, everybody. So like Katrina said, I stand in front of you as the president of the European Association for Creativity and Innovation, EASI. And I'm going to introduce the activity that you already started with at the end of my speech. But first, so the activity is called Find Your Muse, and then of course, Connect to Create. And I only realized the brilliance of this Connect to Create after I started writing this speech. So I want to tell you a little bit about the process for me about writing this speech. This is the first time that I'm speaking in the role of this presidency. So I thought this speech needs to be awesome. I need to leave you with a super new insight on creativity that you would go home and you would say, oh yes, that speech, it totally changed my views and tomorrow I'm gonna do something totally different. So I had some criteria for this speech, which were implicit, I have to say, in the beginning. So firstly, on a more personal level, I've been working, or I've been making a living from creativity ever since I graduated from this faculty in 2009. And some periods I'm better at it than in other periods. because I'm also trying to understand life through understanding creativity. So for me, creativity is not the next Apple product. For me, it is the very skill that makes us human beings, that makes us resourceful and resilient, and basically empowers human survival. So that is a pretty big ambition. Also to get that through your work. And I also have this feeling that I am an artist, but I have no art form to which I can express my art. I'm not a singer, I'm not a good painter, so I have no art form. So I'm always trying to use my work as my art form to express my art. And I struggle with letting people see the value of that. So I wanted to use this speech to also make you see the value of that. Yeah? Okay, so that was the first criteria I had. Then the second criteria is that, of course, I also wanted to make you super enthusiastic for EASI. And not only enthusiastic, but really convince you to actively participate in EASI. I never realized I had these criteria. I was wrecking my brain over this speech. I hope you can imagine the pressure I put on myself, and I had a complete writer's block. So yesterday morning, I did something that I don't do very often, and that is sort of weird because I'm teaching creativity. I used a deliberate creativity technique myself. Yes, I don't know if it's the arrogance or whatever, but I did it. So what I did, and I don't know if it's also in the book or maybe by the students an activity, but I did free writing. So free writing without judging. So for half an hour, I brain farted all over the paper, which sounds disgusting, but is really nice to do. I wrote 16 pages in half an hour. And it was as fast as my hand could go. And in these 30 minutes, I realized I had these criteria. I realized that this would be my story as well. And I also realized you just have to do something. You just have to move, act, at least do something. And it was also in this writing that I realized, or that I made, to use professional terms, the creative leap, that I realized that connecting is a form of action. So building and nurturing relationships is a form of action. And we need these relationships if we ever want to make a change in Europe. So these relationships are super crucial to build and to nurture. And that is exactly what EASI facilitates. EASI was founded in 1986 or 1987, 86, and then the first conference was in 87. And it was founded in a period that is at least my analysis of this thing, in a period that cost efficiency and professionalization, whatever that means, more Excel sheets, was a big thing. So you can imagine there was a need for a place where people could share knowledge and create knowledge on creativity and innovation. And then 30 years later, creativity is the second most important skill in the future of jobs. So you can imagine, or you can maybe ask yourself, is there still a need for such a thing as a European Association for Creativity and Innovation? Yes, of course there is. Now more than ever. We've been stupid enough to separate the thinking from the doing with the theory and practice. We need to reconnect that. And that is what we want to do with EASI. Oh, and I was going super well. and I had a very strong point now, but I forgot. I forgot my point. Where's my speech? Here. Oh yeah, okay. Yeah. Got it. Okay, so we're connecting businesses, governments, and research institutes. And I believe that there are a lot of unused insights in these silos that remain in these silos because we don't connect them. And that is what we want to do with EASI. And shit, I forgot it again. Oh, yes, this is awesome. We need a place to rise above our own disciplines. And I'm not talking about multidisciplinary or interdisciplinary, but really transdisciplinary. To create value in Europe, and we don't have to mention all the issues that are in play, we need to connect and rise above and create. And EASI is the glue in this process of connecting and creating together. And so, that is exactly what we're going to do right now. And I'm going to explain the activity that you already started. And Barbara is already close or not? Oh, okay, Barbara is already close. So I want to end my speech with introducing this activity. You have created 2 cards. A demand or a card that you are in search for a certain skill or knowledge or a certain attitude, and something that you can offer to another person. So what we're going to ask you is to try to find at least one person that you can offer your knowledge to, and one person that can offer his or her knowledge, skills, attitudes to you. And this activity, it takes till 5 more or less. So you don't have a lot of time. Make an appointment to talk further. So no procrastination, action. Yes, make that appointment to talk further because there is no time now to have the deep conversation that you might want to have. We have Barbara here. Barbara, yes.
Hi.
Hello. Hi. So we will roll this thing into the middle again. So please leave, hello, hey, hello. Leave the cards. Oh, you're already reverting. You can leave the cards. You can find, because everybody has put the same name on their name tag as they did on there. So you can hopefully find each other. If you don't, please come to our market leader who will help facilitate this process. You already had some nice examples.
Yes, I did similar to you. I also had a look.
Yeah.
And I already found some super awesome examples. For instance, I have here Lisanne, who is in search of a few superpowers, and one of it is dancers. Lisanne, where are you? She's behind there. I made for you already a match. This is a match made in heaven. I will not make you dance. I promise that to the superpower owner, which is Mark. He wrote down dancing as one of his superpowers. So I welcome you both to start this conversation. I will not make you dance here on the podium because you're going to make this appointment for dancing, right? Or to talk about it. And then I found another one that is Eelco, who is in search of superpowers called new creativity or creative techniques. And for him, for Eelco, I have good news, because in the very last table in the back, where the couches are, you can sit down. I'll send some students, and the students have been thinking about creativity techniques. And on this table, there's a lot of awesome new techniques that you can do individually.
Great.
So I see already the first connections.
Great, great. So I would like to thank you for your attention. And I would say, go and find your muses. Oh, there's a question. Oh.
A question?
Yeah. Oh, yes, next year, November. Woohoo! Good point, thank you.
Yes, the bar is open, so you can order drinks, also a wine or a beer. And if you cannot find your muse, come to me and I help you.